Hey everyone. I'm Cameron Rao. I'm one of the producers of the show, and welcome to Retrofest. I promise this will be cool. But before we get started, I've actually got to give you guys a little history lesson. This show is about the keyboard, so I have to clear up just a couple little discrepancies. What exactly is a keyboard? It's not a computer keyboard, but a musical keyboard, which has been used ever since the 3rd century BC with the invention of the first primitive pipe organ. Pipe organ technology has since expanded to include hundreds of unique sounds which emulate other instruments. In the Middle Ages, the harpsichord was invented. It was smaller, lighter, and cheaper, but it lacked the dynamic expression inherent in most instruments, as each note was only voiced at one volume. Eventually, someone got the idea to attach a keyboard to a dulcimer, and the pianoforte was born. It was heavy, but it had the dynamic expression lacking in a harpsichord, and it was loud enough to be heard with a full orchestra. By the turn of the century, most homes had a parlor, in which families would play popular or religious songs on the family reed organ or piano. In New Orleans, bands would combine marching band techniques with popular songs to create their own style of music called ragtime. And then, George Gershwin would then elevate the piano and jazz to be on par with classical music through his composition, Rhapsody in Blue. And by the middle of the century, almost every home in the Western world had a keyboard instrument in it. Which leads us to rock and roll. And that's really why we're here, so let's bring out the band. Rock and roll of the early 50s was characterized by two main instruments: the piano, as played by artists like Fats Domino and Jerry Lee Lewis, and the then recently invented electric guitar, as played by Buddy Holly, Bill Haley, Eddie Cochran, and of course, Chuck Berry. But it was really the piano that started the whole rock and roll thing. And one artist in particular who screamed